A History of Mexican Coins by T. the Silver Stacker with Russ Bega. Hello, silver fans. This is T, and you're in the place to be for silver and numismatic history and education. If you dig these kind of videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I make a bunch of them. T. Okay, Russ. Hey, back here at Harlan J. Berk, and I'll tell you what, my audience has demanded, hey, we want more Russ, we want more history, and because when I air your videos, I aired one last Saturday, people love it, man, and they love the fact that they could tune in and learn. Let the audience know what you got there, man.
Sure. So what I have here are basically, these are all coins of the New World. And what's really cool is we get to see the evolution of how this happens. So on my right, the first coin I have is a 4 real. So we're all, a lot of us are familiar with the 8 reals, which is what I have the rest of. So 4 real is just half an 8 real. But this one is special because this dates from 1542 to 1555. This is a 4 real, and this is the first coin struck in the New World.
Wow. So, Cortez comes over in 1520 and decimates the native people of Mexico. And what do? Immediately start, taking the silver and gold, and here we go. This is it. First ever coming out of Mexico to. Were these headed over to Europe to?
Yes. So that was the thought. The Spanish really did look at the New World as a way to support the mother country, and so they immediately started stripping whatever they could, gold and silver wise. And I think it's really impressive that within about 20 years, they have a mint set up in Mexico and they're producing coins like that. Because that is the standard. If you look at European coins, they look very, very similar. And these are guys that are out, literally in basically an unexplored jungle, and they're striking these coins. They were all meant to go back to the mother country to help support, the mother country and the rest of the empire.
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. It could have been Aztec silver.
It probably was.
Yeah.
To be very honest, it probably was.
Yeah.
So then we kind of move into this different era of history. So in the, this coin was very, very labor intensive to do. So as they start discovering more of this silver and they're setting up their colonial administration, they're able to exploit, local labor and all these other things, they start pulling out massive deposits of silver. And they can't strike these coins fast enough.
The river of silver is just flowing.
Just flowing. So the solution is get cruder, which is what we call cobs. So when you think of pirate treasure, you're really thinking of cob coins. And a cob coin is pretty simply made. So this is silver that was recovered from a shipwreck. It's not Spanish, it's Dutch, but it's from around the same time period, and it's a good illustration of what they were doing.
Speaking of discovery, where did you discover that?
This was discovered in a cabinet. Someone had bought it several years ago at an auction, and while I was doing my weekly clean out of things around the shop, I found it, and I just love it. So
this shop has a lot of history.
It does. But so with cobs, what they were doing is they were literally taking the bar. They were producing these bars of silver. They're smelting them, and then they're just lopping off hunks that are the right weight, and they're just stamping coins. So cobs are incredibly irregular. They'll have cuts in them. They'll have all kinds of crazy stuff about them because they're just so crude, and they're supposed to be crude because they really are for commerce. They're just trying to process that silver and use them.
Yeah, all that matters is the silver weight at this point in history.
Exactly. As long as it weighed the right weight, that's what mattered. You'll see them in all different shapes and sizes because, like I said, they're really only standard there was weight, and that's it. So this is, one from the 1650s, and then we get into the 1740s, and, it's still the exact same. It's 100 years later, and they're still doing the same thing. There's just so much silver to get out that that's what they do. So Cobs are fascinating, and really when you think about pirate treasure, that's what you should be thinking about. You know, they're sending, you know, during this time there's a bunch of different colonial wars going on between the British and the Spanish, even the Dutch. And so when treasure galleons were going down, they were going down with stuff like that.
Got it.
So then moving into the immediate, you know, quite a ways later, this is an 1821, and this is Mexican. This is made in the Guadalajara Mint. And we see that very famous coat of arms on the reverse, the Pillars of Hercules and the Spanish colonial shield.
The patina on this thing is just gorgeous.
Yes,
too, by the way.
that is a really, really cool coin. What's cool about that one, I think personally, is, you know, it's 1821, and so the Spanish Empire is almost done in the New World at this point. But what the Spanish did is they left a lasting legacy in the New World of what a coin was. And what I think is even more neat about all of these coins that I've kind of put in front of you today is these all could have very well circulated here in the New World. Even in the United States after it was the United States.
Right.
Until 1857, all of these coins here were legal tender to use in the United States to even pay for public debts because we had such a hard time getting our coinage operation up and going. Our dollar is based on the 8 real. The half cent that we started striking exists because of the 8 real. Because 2 bits, well, 1 bit is 12.5 cents. How in the world do you make change for 12.5 cents? A half cent. So that's what's super cool about these. And then the last one I've got for you is a straight, this is Mexico as Mexico, 8 real. This is a, what we call a cap and ray. So it literally has what's called a Liberty cap. It says Liberty on it. And it's a symbol of freedom, of all those things. This one's a little bit later one. This one's in 1896. So it probably didn't circulate in the U.S., but it very well could have, especially in the southern United States. So, I mean, they're just so cool.
They really are. They really are. And the history across, you know, all the way from the first one in the 1540s to, you know, this one here.
Yeah, and that is actually one of the very last years they made the 8 real. Then they went to the 1 peso.
Okay.
So that is really like, you know, we started at the beginning and we sure as heck went to the end.
Okay. Is this struck in Mexico City at the Mexico City
I believe
Mint?
that one's in Mexico, yes.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different mints. There's like Zacatecas and Mexico City and, I mean, all kinds of different mints. So they're very, very collectible. So very, very cool coins.
Hey, fascinating history and amazing coins. And hey, thanks for sharing, Russ. Really appreciate your time. And I'll be sure to, you know, oh, by the way, viewers, if you want to learn more from Russ, he's got his own channel. You could check him out on YouTube. I'll put the links down in the description. He goes by the handle, The Millennial Numismatist, and the dude knows his stuff. Check him out. Thanks, Russ.
Thanks.
Hey, let me show you what I purchased at Harlan J. Berk. But first, special thank you to these channel members who support my efforts to bring videos like this to you. And thank you for watching. I really appreciate your viewership. Okay, here, let me show you what I got. I got my very own 4 reals, 1792. Just imagine what this coin has seen between Mexico City and Chicago and to my hand. All those years, all those miles. Where did it travel? What did it buy? Who knows? And talk about history. Take a look at this cap and ray. There's something very special about it. And let me show you the reverse. Here we go. Take a look. Look closely. Take a look at those chop marks. This thing has been God knows where around the world. And, you know, the history is just absolutely amazing. It really makes you think. This is one of the reasons that we all love coin collecting so much. To watch more videos like this, choose from one of these selections.